We are about to say goodbye, on some level, to a very special person. Really, in many respects, the most special and important person in creation. Although, like any Jewish topic, we can argue about it. We can there'll be obviously from other perspectives. Other people will stand up and rise to the occasion and be considered, extremely irreplaceable in that moment in time. But right now, in our world, the most important person that has ever come to the world is Avraham Avinu, Abraham, right? And we were only 2 parshiot ago, only 2 weeks ago, we were introduced to him explicitly in the Torah, when God tells Avraham, Lech Lecha, go for yourself, or a Hasidic interpretation, go to yourself. And we're introduced to this unbelievable person, a towering figure of spirituality, of kindness, righteousness, genius, an intellect, reaching the levels of divine intellect, understanding the secrets of creation and of life in what came up in Hashem's thought, what we call divine wisdom, what we call Torah today, perceiving all of that, understanding all of it, just through his upward journey, step by step by step. Lech lecha, go, journey, travel. But there's physical travel, there's spiritual travel, there's intellectual travel, there's all kinds of travel. And that's what he was doing. He was traveling higher, 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 coming closer to Hashem, reaching a point where Hashem said, you're the winner. In some sense, it's not a game, but it's really the game of life is very important. We want to win. So he was the winner because he reached Hashem. Starting from a low place, a dark place, starting from a level of ignorance. There are opinions that Abraham first started out worshiping idols. I don't like to say that opinion. And I don't necessarily, we don't have to accept that as a true opinion. It could be possibility. Other possibilities are that he, from a very young age, as soon as he had knowledge, as soon as he could understand anything, he already found Hashem. That's the unbelievable, towering, super spiritual figure he was, that at the age of 3, he began already to recognize and know that there's a God. And from 3 until 99, he didn't stop moving. He called it a mover and a shaker. So he moved, because he did that journey of life to climb and come close to Hashem. And he shook. He was a shaker because he did Shemona Esrei, of course. He was a shaker. He was a mover and a shaker. And he got to Hashem. That's Avraham. So it's only 3 parshiot, and then he comes and he goes, but he stays with us because the lessons, obviously, we keep with us and take with us in our lives in order to emulate, be like Avraham. It says in the Talmud, or the Chazal actually say that, when will I reach Avraham? When will I be like Avraham? When will I be able to bring out in my life the same things Avraham did in his life? That correlation is fascinating, unbelievable, empowering, maybe almost intimidating. How am I supposed to be like Avraham, the greatest person that ever came into this world, and he changed the world. He brought a revolution to the world that we're still living through. He was the original revolutionary. He was the original rebel with a cause. The cause was save the world, save mankind, bring us back to where we came from, bring us back to where we belong. That's what Avraham started, and that's what we're here trying to continue. So if we can be like Avraham and also participate in this journey of life, climbing, rising higher, getting closer to Hashem, getting closer to ourselves, seeing who and what I really am, what I was created for. Hashem created me with something in mind. So we invest so much effort into building ourselves up physically to be our best, look our best, be strong, be healthy. Now, it's ironic because that's that's an endeavor that's doomed to fail. What do I mean it's doomed to fail? Ultimately, long term, everything I build when it comes to my body, it's going to be destroyed. It's going to decay. It's not going to last. It's not going to stay. What we're doing, it's a temporary edifice. It's like a sukkah that we build. It's temporary. We build this sukkah, and we see that it's not here to stay, and it's not as impressive physically because it's only here for a week and it's gone. Our body's here for 70 years and gone. So if we invest all our life in building a body, okay, so you've accomplished, you've built, but did you really maximize your building potential? Right? The Ben Ish Chai says that in Egypt, we were prisoners in Egypt and we had to build buildings for Paro. That was the servitude. That's not our real goal. That's not our real job, building buildings for Paro. We are really here to build the spiritual worlds for Hashem. We're really here to build this world and all of the levels of it for Hashem. And we're here to build ourselves, but a permanent building, not a temporary building. We're not here to make ourselves into this sukkah. We're here to make ourselves into a permanent edifice that will last forever. It's actually the sukkah that we are right now, this temporary thing that has to be thrown away at the end of 7 years, is exactly why we don't live forever. Because you don't want a sukkah forever. You want a mansion. You want a palace forever. And so the journey of life in Avraham and of following Hashem's way in Torah is to build you up into a permanent edifice that is worthy to live forever. So the sages explained to us that Paro was extremely cruel in his forcing the Jews to build buildings for him. Extremely cruel. It's not that they weren't paid. It's not that he made them work long hours. It's not that he punished them when they didn't meet quotas. That's not the cruelty I'm speaking about. Those are obvious cruelties. But there was a demented, perverted, sick cruelty is that he purposely chose land that was unstable, that was weak, that would not support the building that we were asked to build. So here we were in misery. You would think it couldn't get more miserable. But at least you accomplished something, or so you thought. At least we built the building. You know, they broke us. They didn't feed us. They didn't pay us. They insult us. They embarrass us. They shame us. But look, we built a building. And then you see that building collapse. You built nothing. So on top of the misery, you also built nothing. Right? So that's the idea of being slaves to Paro and building all of those buildings that are ultimately going to fall, is the idea of serving something that has no real foundation, no real truth, no eternality to it. That's what we gave to Paro, and that's why that's what we gave to Paro. That's what that represents. Building for Paro is, I think, very connected with what we said. Building and serving the body. If the body is going to be buried 70 years later, then what are you investing in? It's temporary. Would you spend money on a hotel room? You're in this decent hotel, and you say, you know what? I'm a millionaire, billionaire. I want to redecorate my hotel room. I'm here for 3 weeks, business trip, whatever, and I want to redecorate my entire hotel room. Would that make any sense? You're going to spend now $1 million to redecorate a hotel room that you're leaving in 3 weeks? No. So again, overly investing in an extreme concern for the body is like that. Investing too much in something that's temporary. What is a good investment of your time? What is a more a smarter investment that's going to bring you back more payback is to invest in the building of your soul. We are here to really be spiritual builders. We're here to build ourselves, our neshama, and to ultimately have something at the end of our life that we have to show for it that remains with us, that we don't just throw away, that we don't leave behind, that wasn't pointless, but rather something that has that essential purpose of true accomplishment, which is eternal, and then we will be able to stand before Hashem in the world of ultimate truth for ultimate and all eternity. That's the ultimate goal. There's one thing that we ultimately are going to live for in life. And I think that we can boil it down to one statement, and that statement will have a lot of depth to it. We'll have to explore it. But ultimately, the answer to this whole talk is this. Avraham came at the end of his life to the next world. He came before Hashem with his life. He brought his life with him. And he was offering something to Hashem. And the defining factor is, if I have something to really offer, will really be boiled down to this simple but revolutionary point. Is my package that I'm bringing all about me? Was it for me? Or was it for Hashem? If it was for me, then what am I giving him? It's mine. If it was for Hashem, then it's all his. And Avraham came before Hashem with his entire life and said, here Hashem, here's what I have to give you.